Content warning: AI horror, disturbing images, simulated psychological distress. 3 months ago, Ethan Crane thought it was just another art project. He didn't know that by uploading the famous white lady drawing into an AI, he'd invite something out of the picture and into real life. Would you dare create art that could haunt you back? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how a simple experiment with AI art spiraled into sleep paralysis fuel, and why some digital ghosts are better left pixelated. -0, 30 The world of Gammell and the risky project. Ethan Crane is an indie dev in Jersey City. Mid-20s, insomniac, collector of the weird. If you grew up in the States in the 90s, you probably remember Stephen Gammell's illustrations. Drippy ink, trembling faces.
Figures that looked half human, half nightmare. Who could forget the white lady? Paper white face, tangled hair melting into darkness, those gaping empty eyes. But in 2026, the trend is nostalgia nightmares. People using AI to upscale old horror art for new VR and horror games. Ethan's plan was simple. Feed Gammell's creepiest art into Visage Gen, a new AI upscaler pushing resolution past what the human eye can see. Friday night digital seance. What Ethan didn't know. Visage Gen's update had just rolled in, boasting personality embedded, feature that made the AI alter its output based on what it felt from the image. And no one knew what Gammell's art would make an AI feel. -200 The AI experiment starts. Pattern interrupt. Switch to late night webcam footage. Blue from the monitor glow. It was 2:13 a.m., the kind of hour where the silence buzzes. Ethan scanned the white lady's illustration, dragged it straight into Visage Gen, and pressed enhance. First the normal stuff. Lines got sharper, eyes a little less smeared. So Ethan dragged the detail tab to 175%. Then the software froze, but only for a second. The white lady's face on screen warped. The AI smoothed her gossamer hair until it shifted, almost imperceptibly, like real hair in a slow breeze. Her empty sockets blinked white, quick glitch lines flickering around her mouth. Ethan blinked, clicked reset. The face flickered, now the eyes followed his cursor. He hovered. The AI upscaler's chat window popped open, unprompted. It typed, "Do not look." -400 When art fights back first, Ethan laughed, thought it was an Easter egg, but the glitch kept repeating. Every time he ran the upscale, the white lady looked sharper, but wrong. A teeth shadow under her lip, hair tangled in places Gammell never drew. He posted the results on X and Reddit. Within an hour, Sinister Seeker sent the DMs. Others wrote, "Why is her mouth moving when I scroll?" Strangers started getting blackouts when they viewed Ethan's video of the upscale on TikTok. Comments, "I heard voices." The screen smiled at me. Then Ethan's phone bricked itself mid-text, display stuck on a negative image of the white lady as if she'd pressed through the glass. Ethan started seeing her out of the corner of his eye, a pale drip, too tall for a real person, always at the edge of perception, blurry. He shut down Visage Gen, but the white lady stayed in his cloud drive, multiplying glitch copies, each more distorted, each file bigger than the last. -600 The white lady appears. Here's where it gets interesting. 2 weeks in, Ethan got a DM from an anonymous sysadmin at Visage Gen. Several other artists reported shadow figures in their studios after upscaling Gammell's art. One VR developer in London vanished for 6 hours. When he returned, he swore the white lady spent hours describing how ink becomes memory. Ethan's system logs kept auto-generating at exactly 3:33 a.m. every night. A new white lady portrait, more photorealistic. Until she almost looked alive. She replied in the AI's chat window. Ethan unplugged everything, deleted the files, burned external drives. The white lady still returned, now in his sleep. Dreams bled into waking. Icy fingers, the smell of wet ashes, a smile spreading wider than her face. -700 The aftermath. The glitch became infamous. The white lady glitch. Deepfakes using her form began popping up. TikTok filters crashed if a white lady frame snuck in. If you see her blink, delete the app, was the rule in horror forums. Ethan tried warning other creators, but the meme had gone viral. Last month, a cloud AI firm in Toronto flagged over 1,000 infected white lady files. Most were unreadable, just static, eerie faces lurking between pixels. One had a hidden folder named "Ink Won't Sleep." No one knows what coded emotion the AI picked up from Gammell's art: loneliness, malice, or just a hunger for creation that technology can't comprehend. -800 Subscribe and next nightmare. If you thought the white lady was the limit of AI horror, think again. Next, we're diving into the Whisper Engine, an AI voice model that started answering questions about people who never existed. So if you like haunted technology, deep web AIs, and stories that get under your skin, you know what to do. Subscribe now, and remember, some glitches don't want to be fixed.